talking about the first diet mindset, deprivation mindset. Deprivation is what I call a lack mindset because it's predicated around what we cannot eat. And if you've ever been on a diet, if you've ever been on any kind of restrictive meal plan, you've been, you know what deprivation mindset is. Deprivation mindset is when we are constantly walking around thinking about what food is not allowed, and it is predicated around lack. So deprivation mindset sounds a little bit like I can't eat carbs or I can't have sugar. Whatever food group is popular in the diet craze du jour will be kind of taken out, and therefore deprivation mindset kicks in. So let's talk about what deprivation mindset is. You familiar with Newton's third law of motion? Well, I had to Google it, but I'll tell you what it is. It's every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And I always teach that when I teach deprivation mindset, because deprivation mindset has a similar property. When you restrict your food and you go into restriction of any kind, what happens is you create an equal and opposite reaction. That equal and opposite reaction is what happens when people binge eat. Oftentimes people don't realize what they're doing is setting themselves up, because our bodies are designed, they are primitively designed to seek out food when food is in shortage. So here's what happens. When you go on a diet or any kind of restrictive meal plan, the part of your brain, which is known as the reptilian brain and the mammalian brain, it's in the back of the brain. That part of your brain recognizes that shortage of food as some sort of primitive threat. That part of the brain does not understand that we are in an industrialized society and that there's food available at supermarkets and convenience stores all over the place. All it knows is food is no longer available, therefore that is a threat, because we need food to survive as a species. So that part of your brain, which is only influenced by instinct and reflex, goes into overdrive, seeking food. The brain actually then starts to obsessively think about food. Much like squirrels that are foraging in the winter because they know food is about to be very scarce, your brain starts to put you in foraging mode. And all you can think about on like day 3 of your diet is the kind of food you can't eat. That's by design. That's actually a survival instinct, and you can't override it. So when you go on a restrictive diet, what you're doing is you're triggering a part of your survival instinct that then causes you to obsess about food and eventually causes you to eat the food that you cannot eat, because that's your body's way of trying to help you survive. As far as your brain goes, when you're on a diet, it's like you're hunting and gathering on the Serengeti and there's a drought or a famine. You will take anything and everything that you can get your hands on, because that food is going to help you survive. And so everybody who goes on a restrictive diet knows what it feels like to not be able to think about anything but food. That's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. In fact, it's just the diet itself triggers the reflex. And then all the shame comes on about day 3, maybe Thursday, because we always start a diet on Monday. All the shame comes on because we can't keep our diet up to standard. Well, that's actually not us being a failure. It's our body coming in and trying to help save us. The frontal lobe knows that you just want to kind of lose weight, but the back brain has no clue as to what's happening. And so there's nothing one can do to avoid that or to overstep it. It is part of our biology. So how do we avoid deprivation syndrome? Well, whenever you find yourself going into either end of the extreme spectrum, whether that's restriction or binging, we try to help come back to what I call the middle path. It's important that we allow ourselves to have access to all foods and that all foods fit. In a balanced diet, all foods have a place. So it's important that you constantly be allowing the brain, and that we do this through self-talk, to understand that food is in abundance. So I tell my clients, when you have a history of restrictive dieting, immediately when you start to end the diet mindset, it's really important that you talk to yourself and create a new inner dialogue that sounds something like, hey, I know foods have been on the bad list in the past, and I know I've restricted most of the foods that maybe I enjoy, but that's no longer the case. Food is everywhere, and if I need food, I can have it. And that goes for every food. So it's important that you don't just blow smoke up your backside in this as well. You've got to mean it. And so I always tell people, slowly but surely start to introduce old fear foods into your diet in ways that feel in balance with foods that you're already comfortable with. We can create a love list of foods where we start to reframe the way we look at food from fear to love. What are foods that you would bring your best friend or most trusted companion if he or she were sick? Would you bring them iceberg lettuce with some lemon juice? I hope not. I also hope you wouldn't just bring them, canned beanie weenies either. We want to kind of focus on foods that are both nourishing and nurturing and foods that feel good and taste good. So we want to really focus that self-talk around food is okay, I can eat as opposed to I can't eat, and that there's room for all foods in a well balance.